Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationships and it's by user Sis in the Middle. Mine 22 male and my sister's 27 female girlfriends, 23 female and 28 female, got into a physical fight over my sister. A bit of background. My sister Claire has always been the type of girl other girls just seem to love. All my exes, the crazy ones included, like her. An ex I amicably broke up with even joked that she should get to keep Claire after the breakup, so I wasn't really surprised when my current girlfriend, Lara, who I've been with for 3 years, fell for her charms as well. Claire has always been a good sister. She's sweet, she isn't nosy, and the times we've fought have mostly been my fault. She's also a musical prodigy. She plays the piano, violin, viola, and contrabass. She is slowly starting to learn the trumpet, and is a member of an orchestra that does well for itself. My girlfriend is also a violinist and really looks up to Claire. When Claire met her current significant other Emma 2 years ago, Lara disliked her at first sight. Emma, my sister's girlfriend, is great and is very clearly in love with Claire and has even discussed with me the possibility of her proposing to my sister. Lara reacted very negatively when I told her this, saying things like Emma was rushing things and that they weren't a very good match. Lara has always been a very friendly, sociable person, so this was a shock even though I knew she didn't really like Emma. Now, even though my sister is bi, I'm not at all worried and have never been that Lara has feelings for her or vice versa, and I've never had a problem regarding jealousy over my sister and her friendships with any of my girlfriends. So I know Lara's negative reaction to Emma isn't because she's secretly bi or gay with the hots for my sister. But 2 weeks ago, my sister got an offer to further her musical studies abroad at a conservatory and she was ecstatic. The problem was, however, that Emma would not be able to go with her. Emma asked Claire to wait another year for Emma to finish her masters, and then they can think about getting married and moving away together, and insisted that surely she'd be able to get in again next year. Claire decided to wait, although I know she really wanted to go to the conservatory. I also know she hates rocking the boat though and really does love Emma, so even if I thought it was a bit unfair of Emma, I kept quiet. She told me that, well, waiting 1 year isn't that bad even though she was really excited about it because it's not like the school will disappear. I thought that was the end of it, but when Lara found out, she blew up. I was at her apartment when I told her, and I swear I have never seen anyone's face turn red as fast as hers did. She started pacing, saying that she just knew that Emma was a terrible influence on Claire, that she was crushing Claire's dream. I tried calming her down, told her what Claire told me, and then she started crying. This is where it got really weird. In between her hiccuping, she kept saying, "Poor Claire," and "Claire is just too sweet for her own good, poor Claire," over and over. I really had no idea what was going on in her head, but after a while she calmed down, apologized for her breakdown, and asked if we could just cuddle. Now, you all probably think I'm an idiot because I let it go as she asked, and yesterday it came to a head. Emma, Lara, and I were at Claire's apartment having lunch and waiting for Claire to get back from morning practice. The tension was so thick, I thought I would suffocate. So I excused myself and hid in the bathroom to text Claire to hustle, and after a while, nature actually starts calling, so I take a piss. Midstream, I start hearing screaming. The only bathroom in my sister's apartment is in her room, and I'd closed that door, and the door that led to the living area, so I didn't hear exactly what was being said, but I knew it was Lara's voice. I quickly zip up and run to where they are, and when I get there, I see my girlfriend has pushed Emma up against the back of a sofa and is pulling her hair, screaming at her. "You have no right to keep Claire captive, you bitch! And Claire is only with you because she's scared of you," being particularly memorable, and basically having a cat fight right there in my sister's living room. Emma also started screaming vitriol back, even as I was trying to get Lara off. How Claire was not any concern of Lara's, that she was a spoiled brat, chasing after Claire like a stupid child, that the only reason she cares so much about Claire succeeding is that Lara's a crap violinist. To be honest, I have no idea how I managed it, but I got Lara out of the apartment, into my car, and back to hers. She starts crying in her apartment and I just had no idea what to do. I try asking her what the F that was all about, and she tells me that if her own brother won't stand up for her, how is Claire going to get out of that abusive relationship? And I am so confused. Yes, Emma can be a bit controlling and possessive, but I don't know about it being an abusive relationship. She asks me to leave and says she's staying with her parents while she heals. She says she's not upset with me, should she be? And hopes I'm not with her because she knows she's done the right thing. So my girlfriend is with her parents and isn't contactable. According to Claire, Emma and she had a huge argument when she got home and everything's a hot mess. What do I do? I love Lara like crazy, but from the looks of it, it seems like either Claire or I need to break up with our girlfriends to keep the peace. Wow, OP, like you say, it is a hot mess, but I get the feeling that Lara knows something that you don't. Now, there's a lot going on, but you've given us some clues. For example, that Claire is a very sweet person that doesn't like to rock the boat. I interpret that as she's the type of person that would put herself in the back seat just to keep other people happy. I think Emma knows this and is taking advantage of it to cut Claire's wings, let's say. As a side note, I personally think that Claire not going to the conservatory to wait for Emma is a huge mistake, but that's my opinion. Anyway, you also say that Emma is a bit controlling and possessive. Depending on how that's managed, it could turn into abuse, but you just don't see it. Now, again, all of Lara's reactions from when she heard that Claire wasn't going to the conservatory to that fight and everything that she said gives me the idea that Lara knows a lot of information about their relationship that you just don't. So if I was in your shoes, I would talk to Claire alone. Tell her what you've heard Lara say and what you saw in that fight, and ask her if there's anything going on that you don't know about regarding Claire and Emma. Is she in an abusive relationship or not? And if she is, well then you do need to help her get out of it. And what do you guys think is going on here? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Zeldias says, I think you should investigate this abusive thing. Ask your girlfriend what she's seen that seems abusive, what your sister has said, etc. Don't dismiss your girlfriend because she got physical or because you don't know where this is coming from or don't want to rock the boat. Could be that your sister feels pushed around but isn't standing up for herself or whatever, and your girlfriend is taking up for her whatever. It's worth investigating for the sake of your sister. And OP responds, that's my plan now. I'll be talking to my sister tomorrow and my girlfriend after that separately. I intend to get to the bottom of the issue and will update you guys as soon as I know. Thank you. Community Radio says, it seems like people are really oversimplifying this situation and dismissing Lara as crazy. You know Lara best and you seem to be erring towards her being sane. That being said, if you know Lara to be rational and not hot-tempered, and Claire to be private and a doormat, your words, I think the best thing you can do is talk to Claire and let her know you're on her side. And then the next thing to do is ask Lara why she characterizes your sister's relationship as abusive. And OP responds, thank you, she and I have an amazing relationship and I believe we know all there is to know about each other. She has never acted out like this. When she gets angry or upset, she's the type to pace around until she's calm enough to rationally make her point. She has never blown up at me, definitely not like this. Her reaction when I told her about Claire giving up moving abroad was the first time I've seen her so angry. Her ears were burning red. I was so shocked I must have been gaping like a fish for a good 5 minutes. I've tried calling Lara's mom and was told that Lara said she'd call me after she's slept on what she wants to say. Claire texted me and said she doesn't want to talk right now but would like to see me tomorrow. Red-Eyed and Blue says, dude, your girlfriend is so far out of line, she's on a whole other plane, and frankly, she sounds unhinged. This is not a normal, I care about my boyfriend's family by any stretch of the imagination. You've got to reconsider this relationship. And OP responds, I know she was, believe me, but this is also very unnatural for Lara. She's never been an aggressive person, much less someone that resorts to physically harming someone. Additional information from OP's comments. The thing is, I really have no idea what the hell happened. I don't see the abuse that Lara does, but while I know Lara was definitely out of line, so was Emma. I love my girlfriend and I love my sister. Claire is busy doing damage control, and I really don't like how Emma redirected her anger at her, but I'm not one to talk considering how my significant other acted. I'm definitely on my sister's side, but I also feel like I don't know what the hell the sides are or why there are even sides. I definitely know Lara was in the wrong here. She told me before I left her that night that she'd apologize to Claire, but I don't know if she plans to do the same for Emma. The thing is, Lara is insistent that Claire isn't happy with her choice, and they see each other a lot, so I can't know for sure if Claire told her something else. I do know that while Claire seemed resolute with the decision, Emma kind of pressed her. In the nicest way possible, my sister is kind of a doormat. I guess we share that trait. And while I didn't think she was strong-armed into this, the more I roll Lara's words around in my head, the more worried I get. More than anything, I'm confused. I have no idea what to do at this point, if I should even bother getting Emma and Lara to reconcile or if I should bring up Lara's concerns to Claire at all. And the things Emma was saying to Lara, I know that Lara was definitely in the wrong for getting physical, but the things she was yelling mostly related back to Claire. With Emma, even after I pulled Lara away, she followed after, goading her. I'm sorry I didn't make this clear in the OP, I was just still reeling. I had to drag Lara out of the apartment. What made it difficult wasn't that Lara was struggling, but that Emma kept following, called her an Asian slur, Lara is Filipino Chinese, called her an obsessive psycho out to get into Claire's pants, said I should be better at controlling my bitch. And we have talked about Lara maybe having feelings for Claire. When Lara started to show signs of really disliking Emma, she insists she only cares for Claire like a friend and a mentor. She's never had a bad reaction to any of Claire's other friends, even those that have shown an interest in her. I know I can't know with complete definitiveness, but whenever I see them together, I don't get the feeling that Lara's interested in her like that at all. Claire also had a boyfriend when I first met Lara, and she didn't seem to hate him. Now, Claire has always hated conflict. She hates arguing with people and is the type that usually lets people get their way in order to avoid confronting them. She's gone to therapy for this. You'll probably think I'm a total piece of crap, but I also don't like getting involved in conflict and tend to avoid butting into Claire's relationship, although now I see that maybe I should have. She and Emma rarely fight, but it is true that Emma has a very strong personality. I am sitting here going through all their interactions in my head and I don't know what to believe anymore. Maybe Lara saw something I was too stupid to see, I don't know. If Claire really is in an abusive relationship and I've been dismissing it this entire time, I don't know what I'd do. Claire and I have agreed to talk tomorrow. She says she wants to be alone today. Lara has also told me that she wants to sleep on things before she talks to me. I'll update you guys when I know more, but as it is, I really do feel like I've been selectively blind for 2 years. Maybe I wanted to selfishly believe Claire was happy and didn't need to rock the boat on her behalf. I don't know. But I feel very upset. I know physically assaulting Emma wasn't remotely a good idea, but I can't help but feel like I helped push Lara to it by not listening to her better. Okay, so some people in the community support Lara and that OP should investigate further, and some people say he should rethink his relationship. So now let's move on to the update to see what OP did and how this story ends. After reading through all your comments, I made a list of what I wanted to talk to both Lara and Claire. This morning Lara called me and asked if she could come over to talk and apologize. I agreed. When she came over, she looked quite upset, and the first thing she told me was that she understood I must be very upset with her, and she apologized profusely for her behavior, particularly her running away to her parents' house instead of talking to me. She asked if she could speak first, and I agreed. She told me that the reason she needed to go to her parents' house to heal was because she was disgusted with herself. She said she couldn't believe she would ever physically assault someone, and she was shaking the rest of the day after it. She started crying at this point, but she said she cannot sincerely apologize to Emma. She said she had indeed texted Claire afterward, waiting to meet sometime later to properly apologize, but Claire was busy handling Emma. So I told her that I needed to know why she felt that way. I started outlining what I wanted to talk about, really what I wanted to ask her. I asked her what happened when I went to the bathroom. For the record, I was in the bathroom for around 10 minutes or so, texting Claire back and forth. She said she brought up the subject of Emma insisting Claire give up her slot at a conservatory. She admits she didn't say this civilly, but says she didn't yell and wasn't aggressive either. She told Emma that there might never be an opportunity for Claire like this again, and Emma said that it didn't matter because Claire's priority should be their happiness as a couple. That riled Lara up and they both started arguing. No screaming or hurling insults just yet. After a few back and forths, Emma got up in Lara's face, invaded her personal space, started pushing her backward, and told her that this wasn't any of her business, that Claire was hers, and that Lara needed to shut up and leave or she'd regret it. Lara screams that Emma is ruining Claire's career, to which Emma replies by shoving her, laughing, and says, "And what are you going to do about it?" Lara tells me that when she heard that, she snapped. Her words. She said she didn't know what came over her, but she was so angry that she grabbed her hair and pinned her to the sofa. Lara was very shaken up at this. She insists she doesn't regret what she did to Emma, but she's scared that she couldn't control herself. I asked if she was willing to go to therapy, and she agreed readily enough. Then I asked her why she thought Emma was abusive. When I asked her this, she couldn't answer me for a while because she couldn't get the words out through crying. When she calmed down, she admitted that Claire had been confiding in her about what Claire called little things about her relationship with Emma. We met Emma 3 months after she had already been Claire's girlfriend because Lara and I were on an exchange program for a while. Apparently, while Emma was warm and friendly with me, she had asked Claire to cut down her interaction with Lara. This upset Lara, and Claire said she'd talk to Emma about it. This didn't end well. Emma got upset, told Claire that her priority should be her partner and not her friend. Claire apparently asked for a compromise because she also tutored Lara, and Emma relented, although she wasn't happy with it. Lara said this was a big red flag to her, and she told Claire as such, but Claire said that it was just because Emma had been cheated on in the past and that it wasn't such a big deal and that she even allowed her to see Lara in the end. When they would meet, Clara would tell her bits and pieces that clued Lara into what Emma really was. Emma made the decisions for Claire without consulting her. She filed for a different cable subscription for Claire because Claire's current one wasn't good enough. She accepted invitations on behalf of Claire without telling her, to parties, events, etc., where sometimes Claire would have to pay an entrance fee to. She dictated most of their outings, and whatever Emma wanted to do was usually done, including dialing back her friendships with people Emma thought inappropriate. Claire apparently explained this away, saying that she understood because she, Claire, has always been indecisive and past partners have found her meekness annoying. This is true, a douchebag ex of hers made this loudly clear to her, so she was fine letting Emma take the lead, but that sometimes she felt exhausted and unhappy. Lara tried to get her away from Emma time and time again, but apparently Claire would sort of chuckle and say that she wouldn't find anyone else that would put up with a mouse as a girlfriend. The one time Claire put her foot down on cutting out her friends was when Emma told her to stop seeing Lara. This was a year or so into their relationship, and Emma meant to cut her out definitely, and another close friend of hers called Josh. They had an argument in the car while Emma was driving them home in the evening. Apparently, Emma told her to get out of the car, Claire's car, and think about what she's doing, and left her at a gas station. Lara had to pick her up. There were other instances, things I was never around to see, or if I was, seemed innocuous without the bigger picture. There's being a doormat and there's bulldozing someone, and I just don't know the difference. And finally, the reason all this seemed to come out of nowhere to me is Claire begged Lara not to mention a thing to me. I've had issues with anxiety and panic attacks before, and stressful situations were hell on earth to me around my early teen years. We didn't really have a great family life, but that's another story. Lara said Claire was adamant she'd not worry me needlessly, and Lara couldn't deny her. I cannot believe how blind I have been. My sister was there for me when my parents weren't. She was there through all my attacks and their consequences. She was a big reason I was able to pull myself out of depression, and I failed her. You were right, Lara did see something I couldn't, and she took action where I should have. While this was going on, Claire called me and asked me to come over to talk and to bring Lara. When we get there, Lara begins apologizing again and again to Claire, said she was sorry but she told me everything. I asked my sister if what Lara said was true and she said yes. Claire told me that logically she knew it was an unhealthy relationship, but that it was only bad sometimes, and most of the time Emma was wonderful, the perfect girlfriend. She said she knows that's the war cry of abuse victims everywhere, but that she couldn't bear the thought of acknowledging it. She was scared. Emma has never hit her, never threatened her. She used reason to persuade her most of the time, so she thought it would be okay. But these past weeks made her realize she was losing more and more of herself. Emma was safe because she was familiar, even in her controlling behavior. Claire said when she came home, Emma was furious. She told Claire, "You see, this is why I told you to stay away from that cunt. Are you okay being friends with the psycho that attacked your girlfriend?" It was a very long argument, and finally Emma gave Claire an ultimatum: me and Lara or her. Claire chose us, and Emma blew up. She went through Claire's things, tossed her clothes around, and gathered whatever was there that belonged to her, and some things that belonged to Claire that she claimed as hers, and left, and said that Claire would regret this because she wouldn't find another girlfriend like her. Claire was very distressed when I told her what Emma had said to Lara. We talked more about both mine and Claire's issues, and agreed that in addition to therapy on our own, we would see one that specializes in families together so we could both help each other work through this. We talked for a long time, and while Claire is still shaken, she seems to have calmed down quite a bit. She said she didn't want to be alone tonight, but also didn't want to be the third wheel to me and Lara, so she went to stay over with Josh, who I know will take care of her. Claire said she would try again with the conservatory and that she would use the time first to really work on healing herself. When Lara and I got back to my apartment, I asked her to honestly tell me if she was really in love with Claire. I told her I wouldn't be angry if she was, but I just needed to hear the truth. She looked me in the eyes and told me that she wasn't, at least not romantically or sexually. She said she had thought about this very seriously when she felt herself caring more and more for Claire, but came to the conclusion that while she definitely wants Claire in her life, she wants to spend it with me. She says she loves Claire like family, like a best friend and like a mentor. I feel at the very least this has only strengthened our relationship. I'm ready to work hard on my own issues and help Lara and Claire through theirs. Thank you very much, Reddit. Alright, OP, well this is a very happy update. You guys got everything out in the open, so there's nothing to be hidden anymore. Emma is out of the picture. She was clearly toxic, trying to isolate Claire from all of her friends and family, but like I said, she's out and now you guys can work on your issues. So all the best to the three of you in the future. Take care, OP, and thank you for sharing. This post is from the subreddit Today I Effed Up, and it's by user TimHorton67. Today I effed up by misusing a whiteboard for 1.5 years. I bought a whiteboard when I moved into my new and current house. This was supposed to be the ultimate piece de resistance to my awesome new home office. It took a few months to ship, and when it finally did, I was pretty unhappy with it. First of all, there was this big crack behind it, behind the metal, in an unsatisfying way, but it wasn't that noticeable, so I didn't bother sending it back. The worst, though, was that it was near impossible to write on it without leaving ghost marks, and you can forget about letting some writing on it for more than 24 hours. As a result, I wound up not using it for most of the last year. Basically, his only purpose was as a magnet holder, when it should have been used for so many different projects. Today, as I finally had some free time, I looked into the process of cleaning my whiteboard and making it more usable. As I applied some store-bought cleaner, I found this small tear in some kind of plastic coating. I freaked out, ripped it all out, and came to the horrifying conclusion that I spent 1.5 years writing on plastic. I now have a brand new unused board that has been sitting in my office. Well, OP, I guess better late than never. Now you have your whiteboard. Congratulations! Thanks for sharing, OP. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.